In 1991, I became, you just got through telling me that I'm not an elder, but of the tribe, I am. I became an elder when I was 40 years old, or maybe younger, just like some of our southern Sundance priests or northern Sundance priests. As soon as you get into this role as in the Sundance, you become an elder. You're no longer a young person or a young man or a young woman, and so that's what happens. And so, as time grows, you become knowledgeable in things, and it's not by our choice, but by the giving of our Creator, And so many elder people that haven't gone to Sundance will look at you as an elder, or someone that is older than them. It's just like our a month and a half ago when my sister Joyce came up in Carroll. I ran a Sundance, and we didn't have that many priests there because of whatever reason, And so I needed help in preparing some things that needed to be done in our ceremony. And so in our tribe, we classify a twin as an elder, or twins, And one of them is usually a medicine person. And so, and I think the young man that I had gotten, he was like in his 30s. He became my helper, And regardless if he went through Sundance or whatever, I had referred to him during a time that I needed help, that he's ancient, a repeat, So he, even if I die, he'll continue. If he dies, he'll come back to another family, And so he's a repeat, an ancient person, an ancient spirit that are given to our tribe. I speak Cheyenne fluent. When you're a spiritual leader, they just kind of automatically know. Any tribe does, I think, knows that you're a spiritual leader. So this one of the leaders of this CHR program approached me and see if I could do the opening prayer, But they didn't know I was the Sundance priest, So I said the prayer. And I started out with my name, Vernon Sooktis, which means horse trail. I'm named after an uncle that's gone, Henry Mann, from here. My dad was from here. He grew up in Hammond, Oklahoma, and when he was 17, he came down to Montana, or they would come back down. His dad, which his name was Sooktis, and he had some workers working with him at some time when he had some land up here, and I guess he had like cotton field and whatnot, and they were Germans that were working with him or helping him, and or they were the help, Germans and some blacks, that were helping taking care of this farmland, whatever farmland he had. And the Germans didn't know how to say Sooktis, and that's how our last name became. It came. They would say Sooktis. Otherwise, his last name would be Mann, like Henry Mann. My sister Dr. Henrietta Mann is one of them that is left with that name over here. And back home, like my dad, a cousin of ours, Jimmy Mann, came in, married into the Northern Cheyenne Reservation, just like my dad, and he's still there, you know. And I've been changing my name, writing it Sooktis Man, you know. And that's how my grandfather, his name was Man Sooktis on the road, but they changed it to, or Sooktis Man, and they changed it to Man Sooktis, and that's how I got the name Sooktis. I myself believe that as long as we have our two covenants, the arrow teepee and the sacred hat teepee in the north, as long as we have those and we're taking care of them as a tribe, we got caretakers. But I do believe that it's they're deteriorating. They're older than any one of us, you know. And I believe as they continue to deteriorate, our ways are happening also, our languages. But I believe that through people that have enough passion to keep it going and are people that are still speaking it, it won't disappear that fast. Just like our culture, our traditions, our stories, they'll remain. There's no difference. I believe that there's no difference. Some people say that there's a difference. My dad, like I said, my dad's from here. He spoke Cheyenne. My mom spoke Cheyenne, but until Carol and Joyce came up to the north, I was talking to them about it. The only difference that had happened way back then, and some people, elders might correct me on that, but that's okay. But this is my own belief that at that time, when the two tribes came together, the Southern or the Sutdayo and Tzitzistas, they both understood each other, although the words are different, you know, but they understood. And I think growing up with my parents, I was able to learn. And as the years went by, my aunts and uncles would come from here to visit, and my parents would come up here to visit. And I've never heard them once say, I don't understand what you're saying. You know, they just visit like you would with people, you know. And I never seen that there was a difference. I always felt like, okay, well, it's good that they're visiting, you know. If one speaks Cheyenne, one hears Cheyenne, we had three, and whoever it is can correct me on it. We had Petter that wrote, and his words are a little longer. German, you know, and then we had Wayne Lehman, who did an excellent job that preserved or recorded Cheyennes, you know. Then we had Dan Alpert, you know. And I learned from Dan Alpert. And Dan Alpert was a linguist that came out in the 70s, I think, or 80s. And I believe that his was real simple way of teaching. And that's how I learned, you know. But you got these three linguists, and I've heard there's other linguists that are coming up. And when I talk to people, if you hear and speak Cheyenne, write it down the way you hear it. Even if it's in phrases, not so much in words, but in phrases, because words we can learn, colors we can learn, numbers we can learn, and but if you hear it in phrases, then you're going to be able to speak it, But if you start just learning words at a time, then how are you going to put them into phrases, So I'd recommend to educators to do that, Put them in phrases. Let them write them the way they hear it, the way they sound, the way, not everyone speaks the same. Today especially, because of everyone speaking in English. But I'm always thrilled that someone is learning, someone is there to want to carry it on. Even if I leave, then this language, just like our two covenants, as long as we take care of it, it's going to last. Number one, you got to have the passion. That's the thing that I would look into a person, someone that's their willingness of wanting to teach, their willingness of wanting to learn before they teach, rather than it's going to bring me income, And I think a lot of them say, well, this is what I'm going to do, and I've been in the health field for a long time, and I've done this. I worked in different areas of IHS. I worked in different in 1995 when my mother was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer, and before that, anyway, after she got diagnosed, we were told that she's diabetic, And to make a long story short, after 2 or 3 years down the road, I decided, hey, I'm going to get into diabetes. I'm going to learn as much as I can. Or oncology. I want to help people. And I've been with this program, the Northern Cheyenne. I work under the Northern Cheyenne Board of Health as one of their diabetes techs. And since 2000, been with it 14 years. And so I just grew into it, learned about it, consume every education that I need to do a good job. And I think our teachers in Cheyenne need to do that. If they feel that it's that important, they'll learn. And if you have people that come to the education center and willingly, freely, and want to learn, and then they become educators in that field, then they're going to do a good job. They're the ones that are going to preserve it, not the ones that want to be employed. The Sooktis is Nini Taminen. Se haast vuostan ne vuon se haast vuon jäsnä ovat tämän Nini huom se vuonanamat. Sen saa Sooktis ja niktanelstanen saaneen. Na naksa Sooktis hamus se schöpten Jinstunet, just its horn, not Sooktis. Na Jidunikas kunhamane vi bevy ostamme what's vi tisse ostamme what's ni stor schöp ni med. Das mit da was no nähta no mit da var ne no. Na mat mit da var då tanna. Vi sa tanne stomat station stanne vet jitstat. Ikke das da man in schee hat. Het Hit the hook ya. Nitamio mesentiat. Nahatamaha titil. He patanentiat. Nisu no was the nevenets. Na spirit to mats namatish winish it not to mats. Jis. Hesh and it's so much to mats. Tavehtimotanen. Ni was the nema namat. Misho simoniam who stops. Yat. Hapo bet that is so hot, no. So no was the never no. The cano mas one hema. Na matave as nintamet. Matave as that's was the musans namat. That's Magata, Takat, Rishi Magata. Jish, that's the Massa one, not the Massa one. Nitsisins distina. Na, Jen is home, Nishtanas. It's here, I make on, na, it's here, staff. The is home, Nishtanos. Nikashkuna mania, Zimuniama Kostavas. Just no worse than even Namato. What's the Hestia? Zimane, Namate, the instant of that's it. That's a imquia, Hesino, Namat. Hen Ninoptico, it's no, Ziatano. Toma, that she was the name. Na matsa that's still done at the matza to the matzawa. It's really a soft language. The Cheyennes, you can put people to sleep, I suppose. Just us, that's their language. And the Sooktis is kind of, more glottal, more. And I think that's what the linguists needed to hear. Different sounds. If I say one, nook, that sound is for Sooktis. Nast is titistas. So there's two different sounds that we have, Sooktis and titistas, and they can correct me if they want, And I don't try to tell anyone you're wrong. With the everyday language, like my niece Jake Neely, Sooktis, because they grew up today. They grew up with the white culture, mingle with the people out there, and she's worked in Billings area, and their sound is different. More, and I don't want to offend anybody, high pitch. And when she's talking in Cheyenne, it sounds like almost squeaky, like really high, high pitched. And so the English language and the Cheyenne language, combining them, there's two different sounds. And so I imagine down the road, even with the literature, the curriculum that's being developed, our next generation, when they hear it, their sounds are going to be different. And so each generation, it changes. And what's also happening is that we're mixing English and Cheyenne together. That's what's happening. I worked on a movie. I was their, technical advisor, Ian Henry. And everything sounded so good. There was a Blackfeet Indian that we taught. He spoke really good English, Cheyenne. And there was another one, Barbara Hershey on the set, Last of the Dogmen, and they spoke Cheyenne. I mean, they had to listen to what we were saying. They had to memorize it because that was their role. And we had the Cheyenne that supposedly speak Cheyenne, and he had a script, and he did good. He did good, mind you. Eugene Black Bear from here did good, you know. And anyway, the younger one, he was talking, and as he was explaining in Cheyenne that he couldn't do anything more to help this young man that got shot in the leg, and it sounded good, but when you really listen, he went and put "but so that's what's happening, you know. That's what's happening, and it's interesting how I do the same, you know. I do the same, and I add English and Cheyenne together to get across to people. But there are some that will speak fluent Cheyenne, you know. But for another person, sometimes we have to incorporate the Cheyenne and English together. And I noticed that some tribes are doing it, you know, and mingling English and Cheyennes to get to what they're talking about. People saying that's Southern talk, this is Northern talk, you know, I don't know. But it's like discriminating each other or being, you know, the Northerners speak that way or the Southerners speak that way. But when I come over here, I'm Cheyenne, you know. And I feel at home when I come over here, you know, because I got relatives over here. I have a connection over here. I go back home and I feel at home too because they're Cheyennes. And Cheyennes, they're all over, you know. And if it doesn't matter where you're at, you always run into a Cheyenne, you know. But the language will stay the same. And I was just telling Joyce when I came in, I said, you know, the good morning, there was never a good morning. Paviwona. I don't know where that came from. You know, when I grew up, there was a description of a morning. It is spiritual. Emma kaya mo mana. Hea me te so ko na mo hea me te so e. Or emma kaya mo ta wo. Hea me te so ha tamana. Which means, is it going to rain today? They always describe what the day is going to be. Never a piwana. One of my aunts had passed away, and I was asked to pray, and it was amazing how there was ladies and men that came up to me speaking Cheyenne, you know, because when I come up in areas, I don't know who's Cheyenne, you know, or who speaks Cheyenne, and when they came up to me and they said, "No, was the ones you know, I'm related to your dad, you know, in Cheyenne, you know, and that they sound good, you know, or men, yeah. Sha when you was to what's it? Nasan, you know. That's the male part, you know. And so over here I have to speak English. But when I say Cheyenne, then or speak in Cheyenne, then somebody comes and responds to my Cheyenne, then I know they're Cheyenne. Yesterday when I said the prayer, there were Cheyennes there, you know, but they didn't come up to me because evidently they didn't speak Cheyenne, you know, and that was interesting, but I didn't say anything. But I knew they were Cheyennes, you know, because they told me, hey, my dad's this, or my mom, I come from that family, and so forth. And but in the north, We just speak Cheyenne. So I think a lot of us, my age or young, lower, a couple years younger than me, when there's a non-speaker, the politeness comes out. Then we speak English. There's some words I had forgotten as I was growing up, and but when I hear them, I remember them. It's written. People are interested. They're doing it. We got the curriculum. By God, let's use it.
What we are doing is we're creating the curriculum for the high school, juniors and senior level, level 1s and level 2s, so it'll be 2 years of a language program. That way, our students, our Indian students, our Native students can take the classes, the language classes, and get high school credit for it.
A grant was received to work on the language aspect of the tribe's culture and language. And what they're hoping to do with that is to develop some resources so they can teach the language.
You don't have to have a degree in education. You will go through our training program. So we will train you how to use the teaching curriculum, the materials, classroom management, things that teachers need to know. And it's a great career opportunity.
We would give them the teacher's guides, something to follow that is used under the World Language Certification process.
We've looked at possibly having language speakers that already have college degrees, they're already teachers, so that's one level you're going to look at. The other one is the novice language speaker who doesn't have a degree but has the opportunity to teach in the public school, but with a mentoring program of a certified teacher to help with that.
What these funds will do is to help develop those teachers to become great classroom teachers and to support them in the classroom.
There is stipends. You'll be paid during your training. You'll be paid at work.
Hopefully the tribe will have a good program that they can share with that student after he graduates high school, and they can continue on and be a fluent speaker. And I've always felt that if you lose your language, you've lost your culture.